Sweeney be listening to the women at the shop, at the barber shop, because he works with his wife. You know, his wife does hair and Sweeney cuts hair. You know, I used to own a barber shop myself, a hair salon. It's called Christian's. And I listen to a lot of women too. And in my experience, Sweeney, I think a lot of women associate trauma to their lives that they never experienced themselves.
Hmm.
And they do it to fit in. So a lot of times when you hear a lot of women giving stories on their dating experience and all that, because I've had sisters and cousins and heard them stories from them, and I know their ass didn't do the shit that they was talking about. I know got a lot of sorority sisters.
That is possible.
Don't do that shit. They
That
be
was a
saying
lie.
shit in that chair. They be sitting up in that chair saying that they went to this and did this, and this nigga was like this, and they ain't even go nowhere that night. They be lying.
Damn.
That was a lie.
I just want to put it out there.
Hey, look, I don't deny. Hey, look, some of that shit might not be true because I've also said the same thing that a lot of women who get online and tell stories, and you ask the question 3 layers deep, and they, like you said, you ain't experienced none of that. It was your cousin that went through it, and then you told the story as if it was your own. So yeah, you may be right in a lot of that.
Yeah.
Hey, I even into Shannon's point, I've been in the barbershop salon where, you know, it's a men and woman space, and a woman that's in there singing like this song about how niggas ain't shit and all this other stuff, but she's engaged, she's married, she's a co-owner of the shop with the man, and the man is in the shop with her while she's singing the song, you know what I'm saying, with her client. So it's like one of those things of where it's like that's not even the lifestyle that you live in, but you singing this song, you know what I'm saying? So how much
Cardi B got caught like that. You're right.
it's
It
like
is.
I don't cook, I don't clean,
how
and you
much
caught her in the
damage
kitchen.
or trauma are you
I
creating,
would.
you doing by you feeding into something that you're not even experiencing? But this woman that you're essentially doing her hair, you know what I'm saying, in which I don't know if you can agree, but when you're in somebody's hair, that's a very intimate moment. You're dealing with those vibrations and all the other shit. If you're going spiritually into it, you're now inserting this and validating this trash that you're hearing on the radio, and you're singing it, and you, oh yeah, girl, and you're not even living that, but she not living it, but you singing it with her because she's living it. So it's that shit dangerous, man.
I will like to add this too, is that I can also be honest and say that sometimes when I do hear these women tell these stories, now they come in multiple times. So you hear stories and then you hear a different person and then they start to talk about who they are as a person. Because again, the ones that's honest, eventually they get, you let a woman talk long enough, she's gonna start snitching on herself.
Yeah.
And sometimes I
absolutely.
be looking at them like, man, you expect to keep a man and you act like that? So it's a mixed bag. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why I said I kind of got rolled, because it's a mixed bag. I get a lot of shit in the shop. You hear some niggas come up in there, you be like, bro, you don't deserve no woman. And some dudes come up in there, you be like, damn, man, I can't believe you going through this type of shit. Then some motherfuckers like niggas be capping on their dick. Like you did not do none of that shit last night. Why you lying?
So Shannon, I wanted to present the question in the same way we did with Marcus here. So you personally, have you witnessed this yourself, or just a certain scenario you'll run into them and be like, damn, nah, not that one. There's a hell no for me. And
Yeah.
if so, what made you feel like that? Because we are trying to be solution based. So the first thing we're doing is we're going to identify these problems, and then we're going to go around again, and we're going to take everyone's problem and figure out what they could do to kind of improve it.
Let me end with that, because I did want to touch on something that Darwin was talking about, and I think that Kenny was getting ready to lay it on him, but then he kind of digressed.
Pause.
Listen, man. For me, you get no grace for excessive, vainglorious reasons, Darwin. Grace for not being able to, or a man not being able to make a living and systemically keeping black men from certain areas in the workforce does not equate to platinum blonde wigs, bro, and BBLs and cumbrellas and them raptor claws.
Hey, and a
Wait,
lot
what's
of
a
the
what's a
women
cum,
don't
what's a
give men
cumbrella?
grace, though.
That's the umbrella. Them.
Oh,
That's
oh
what they,
yeah, yeah, okay.
Hey, that's
you
that's
know,
that's the you
Yo,
pull up on them on
women.
the side of the
yo.
car.
In my personal opinion, women should give grace to men. I hear what you now. I do agree with you saying women give men grace, but they should, because part of the reason that men have had trouble historically is because they replaced the men with big daddy government, and they weaponized the court against men in many ways. And that's the reason why we have shows like this in the space that we have right now, and men are actually speaking up for the shit and the injustices and the things that we dealt with for the last 30, 40 years. Yeah,
Damn.
give me some grace. We need some grace for all the shit that we've gone through, for all the stepfathers that stood up and took care of shit and then still had no autonomy over that child, and all the things that we've gone through and still out there dealing with what we're dealing with. And we're saying we're gonna match that to you wearing 18-inch fake hair.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sam.
that's not really a good match for me.
Hey, Sam. What was the name of that old flick with James Earl Jones where the movie was basically about the girl he was interested in with kids.
Claudine.
She out of the house.
Claudine.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
What year
Claudine. Yeah,
did
that was a
come out
crazy
in?
movie. Yeah.
That was in the
Yeah.
70s, right?
Yeah, it was in the 70s. She couldn't have the little social worker was coming to the crib, pressing her to see if she had a man up in there, checking the closet. So yeah, that was crazy. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
So I just wanted to, and I hear what my man Darwin is saying. I just when he says, it's a give and take. Those, to me, that's apples and onions.
But did you honestly think that when I was referring to the challenges Black women went through in history regarding European beauty standards, did you honestly think that I was saying giving them grace on blonde wigs and lashes?
Well, that's what we complain. But that's what we complain about, Darwin. See,
Okay.
so what men complain about when we talk about these BBLs, when we talk about these lace fronts, we're talking about the excessive stuff. We're not talking about corrective hairstyles. We're not talking about those women who occasionally want to switch it up and try something different. Maybe one month she's curly with her natural, and the next month she wants to go a little straight, but she adds some extent. We're talking about the excessive blue-haired, platinum blonde, crazy, wild shit that we see throughout the internet. And that has nothing to do with giving them grace because of some European beauty standard that they're trying to match up with. That's just being extra. And we're like,
okay, so I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I wasn't at all referring to those women who were going to the extreme with the ridiculously long eyelashes and purple, red, yellow hair and all that shit.
I was
just talking about I'm just talking about the wig, the weaves.
The brothers actually described those before you spoke. So that's why, I thought that that's what you were speaking to.
No, that was I was just giving my preference on a woman. I know it's I don't know if anybody said it on this panel, but I know there's been conversations, floating around about women need to be more natural. And I want to date a woman unless she's natural. So I think I was addressing that. It may not have been nobody specific on this panel, because I think the guys, like you said, on this conversation, we're talking about the extreme shit, not necessarily, just putting a wig on that kind of match your hair texture or straight or whatever, or just wearing weave or whatever, or extensions or lace fronts or whatever. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
everything else was flawless, right?
Anybody that goes to
like
the extreme, anybody that takes something to the extreme, I'm sure again we can all agree that it has to be something going on internally. You know what I'm saying? If you have to do this thing to the extreme, balance is everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
true that.